Coastal restoration is a big player in how we look at our environments these days. And what we're finding is that lots of areas have been degraded. Some are natural causes, like storms. Other ways areas get degraded is through human impacts. So where we have had human impacts, we should have restoration going on to remove those stressors and bring the natural environment back to where it had been or where it could be. At the present time, our restoration efforts are focused on oyster reefs. That's where we started. We added in shoreline restoration, which includes marsh grass, it includes mangroves, and the oysters that are adjacent to the water. And as of last year, we began seagrass restoration in the Indian River Lagoon. So we've really created a habitat mosaic where all these species work together to make the environment better. Marine debris is a huge issue around the globe. Everybody has heard of, or almost everybody's heard of, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, where there are large pieces of plastic that all congregate based on the water currents. So big things like straws or water bottles we know about. In the last 20 years, people have started focusing on microplastics, which you need to look at under a microscope, that are less than 0.5 millimeter in length. And even more recently, people have started worrying about nanoplastics in the marine environment, which are even smaller than microplastics. So you need specialized microscopy to see and deal with it. But it is the breakdown usually of these larger plastics into microscopic things. So we were really delighted to receive funding from NOAA's Marine Debris Challenge grant competition. It is very well prescribed. A lot of people apply for funding. And as of 2019, my lab stopped using plastics for our coastal restoration. We were using plastics before everybody else was doing the same thing. A lot of people still are, but we decided at that point not to use plastic anymore. So we've been testing lots of really cool materials, working with a company from the Netherlands called the Bees Company. They have created 3 different products in my hands here, 3 different chemical formulations. They're all based on potato starch. So they actually get the material that they use from a potato chip company in Sweden, and they take all that waste back and they turn it into different kinds of mesh like this that have different flexibility. They're trying to emulate what we had with plastic, but in a non-plastic way so that it will just disintegrate. We are also testing, this is probably my favorite right now. Looks kind of weird, but this is another, you put shell in this, just like you would the plastic mesh. This is made out of basalt. So basalt's a rock. It's a volcanic rock. And they spin it down and under high heat, and they actually turn it into fibers. And this company, who is actually entrepreneurs, they are restoration scientists, they actually came up with a way to create shell bags. So we are testing these right now. They're doing really well. So this funding is coming at a really good time, and we're doing the work here and in Texas so that we can look in 2 environments in case the Indian River Lagoon, where we're testing it, maybe, I don't know, maybe funky in some way, that it's either better or worse than the average by testing it in 2 places. NOAA has given us $2.2 million to do that work. It also has a very wonderful environmental justice component to it. And this is making sure that people who were traditionally excluded from helping with restoration are getting an opportunity. They are working with some Hispanic communities in Texas, and here in Florida, we're working with a group called the ARC. It is in Indian River County, and it is for special needs adults. So every month we go down to the ARC, and they help us make restoration materials that we need. And it's very rewarding, and for everybody involved. I mean, I take a lot of students with me when we do this. Some of our community partner, the Specialty Marine Discovery Center, it's a nonprofit in New Smyrna, also come along and help working with it. Just with special needs adults, it's really working one-on-one with each of the clients. But everybody is so happy at the end of those sessions that it's worth it. So I'm glad environmental justice gets put into these sorts of grants.